Today we're talking to an independent tile and stone business. Now this is a business turning £750,000 and they just so happen to set up shop right next door to a national tile and stone business. They want to grow. Right now they're doing zero marketing. How can they do it? This can be a great conversation. Let's get into it. Welcome to Grow with Evergreen, the podcast designed to help you grow your business by providing practical insights into all things paid media, creative and digital strategy. Every episode, we help home, garden, and lifestyle brands with their growth challenges by delving into their business, dissecting what they're doing, and defining a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. Let's get into it. Right, welcome back, beautiful people. I hope everyone is doing well. This could be an interesting conversation, this one. I've got an independent business, tile and stone, get your words out, tile and stone business that has set up shop right next door to a national brand. That doesn't happen every day. And not just that, but today I am not joined by Darren. I have Archie in the wings. How you doing, buddy? You well?
Very well, thank you.
Good stuff. Yes, Archie is here. Now, regular podcast viewers and listeners will sort of know of Archie, but just for those that don't, who are you?
God, what is my actual title? Junior
creative legend.
Creator?
Should we go with that?
Legend.
There you go. We'll go with that.
Okay.
Archie works in the creative team along with Darren and Sam. And yeah, when Darren is otherwise occupied, as is the case today, Archie steps in and makes sure we can still make the magic happen because I only do the easy bit, the sitting here. Archie does all the clever stuff.
Some of our best podcasts perhaps have been produced by me. That's what I've just read in the comments. But
okay, nice.
Yeah.
There you go. I love it. Do you hear that, Darren? Yeah, Darren will WhatsApp back. He'll be fuming. Anyway, right. So, I always ask Darren what he's been up to. So I'll ask the same of you. What have you been up to? Share with our viewers and listeners.
Holiday. I've just been on holiday, which was quite nice.
Yeah.
Other than that, here I've been editing the podcast, editing Tea Talks, and actually editing our adverts. Which
we are working on a couple of ads.
Yeah.
We are. We're working on. In fact, just this week should we say because by the time this comes out, it will be out in the thing. But we're working on right now an ad, our summer ad. So again, regular viewers, listeners of our content will remember our summer ad 2024.
And Christmas.
And the Christmas one. We did a summer ad, we did a Christmas ad. It's becoming a bit of a tradition, or we're gonna make it a tradition. And so we're doing a 2025 summer ad special, and the 2024 one went down so well, and it was if you haven't seen it, go onto our YouTube channel, you'll find it on there. Even when the new one is out, we're going to keep the old one there. As soon as you
click on the channel, it'll start playing.
The new one will be, by the time this comes out, the new one will be playing, so you'll be able to see that. But if you want to see the old one, but the premise of our ad, the way we do it is we just like to go to lots of locations, very fast pace. We tell a bit of a story throughout a 60-second or so ad. But visually, we like to make it very relevant for home, garden, lifestyle brands, which is our area of expertise. So we call in lots of favors with our clients. Can we come and film a very brief clip at your studio, at your showroom, at your warehouse, that sort of thing. And then we also go in some weird and wonderful places. And this year, my goodness me, we've done
got
that,
quite creative with
it,
haven't we? Yeah,
really creative. And well, tell everyone what were we doing this what was it, a couple of days ago? Wednesday. So yeah, a couple of days ago.
Wednesday,
Friday now. Yeah.
I was filming 4 people in matching outfits in a rowboat on the Oxford canals.
There you were. It's so good. It was so good. Yeah, we got hats, matching t-shirts, and we did such effort and expense and whatnot just for I think it's gonna be like a 3-second bit
something
of footage.
like that. Yeah.
Amazing. Love it. And that is in amongst many other clips. And the end product, hopefully visually, will be quite impressive.
Yeah, it's also going to be one of my favourite uncuts when it
comes
out
really?
as well. The behind the scenes is going to be amazing.
We are doing it for behind the scenes. Yeah, we've done. Yeah, because I'll just tell you now. I've discovered I am absolutely useless on a what's it called where you do not the rowing, the other one.
Punting.
Not a chance. No, don't do punting. Absolutely useless at that. And I'm equally as useless at rowing. Discovered that. Just round in circles. Couldn't figure it out. Just don't put me on the water. I'm definitely not a water baby. Anyway, but yes, that's what we've been up to. And so you'll be able to check out the ads when they come out, or they'll be out by the time this is out. But anyway, right, we have Sagren on the pod today. The business is Tiles and Stone Direct Limited. They're based in Chelmsford, which is my old neck of the woods. I used to live in Essex for a number of years, so I know Chelmsford fairly well. They've got a showroom, and as I said at the top, He's been there a long while. It's not as if this is a new business. He's been there sort of 13 years, he said. But what I love about this is he turned around. I said, so you in the high street or retail park? And he was like, yeah. We're right next door to Topps Tiles. And I was like, what do you mean right next door? And he was like, no, right next door. We're in the same sort of building, like a semi-detached type thing. I said to him, who was there first? And he was like, yeah, Topps Tiles. So I was like, okay, I was like, how did they take that? I mean, I suppose, I'm just trying to think, like, that's both good and bad, isn't it? Because on the one hand, it's good in as much as, like, okay.
I don't know if you have. I've had a look on Google Maps, and it is confusing because they both have fairly similar colour schemes of black and grey, and then yellow and white. And looking at the Topps Tiles on Google Street View, you can see the Topps Tiles signs, and then right at the back down the lane you see the Tiles Direct sign, which almost looks like the same logo. Which is
okay. Well, that
some difficulty there.
I mean,
perhaps.
again, I suppose there's because he did say that Topps Tiles have the I think more frontage. You know, they've got the bigger unit, and
it's the one you can see from the road.
It's the one. So that's going to have its issues, I guess. But we'll get Sagren on it shortly, and he can explain what's what. But Archie, do you want to just give us a run through, paint us a picture, if you wouldn't mind, of this business, the marketing challenges and questions for our dear viewers and listeners?
So I'll take it from the top. The rough monthly revenue for our listeners to get an idea is around 50,000.
Yeah, he said it's sort of between 6 and 750 turnover.
It's quite a small team. I honestly expected a bigger team, as it doesn't look like a very small operation.
Sure.
But only a team of 3.
Which
is quite small. First marketing challenge is for every customer walking into Topps Tiles next door to know that there is another tile shop.
10 feet away.
behind, yeah.
Yep.
Another marketing challenge is for customers looking for bathroom products in Chelmsford and surrounding areas to know that we design, supply, and arrange installation. Which I don't know many tile places that arrange installation so that is interesting.
Yep.
And then third marketing challenge is to grow my online presence for tiles and bathrooms.
Okie dokie.
Current marketing spend 0.
Big fat 0, doing no marketing.
0.
Well, it's not technically true because he said, I do spend literally a few quid on a couple of like localized keywords. I don't even say what that's
radio.
Google. He said he does a bit of radio. So I think he's doing a few odds and sods, but it certainly doesn't look like he's doing any paid stuff, and certainly nothing in a big way. So I guess in that scenario, and we'll find out, is he just sort of relying on footfall, walking past, stuff like that, which, that will take you so far. Yes. Where does he want to be in a year and when it's finished?
He wants to be at 250,000 sales per year.
Yeah, wants to grow by a quarter of a mil. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Business looks like when it's finished is £1 million turnover with 4 staff and well managed without my day-to-day interaction.
He's well on his way then. If he's doing 600,000-700,000 now, and he wants to get to $1 million, if he has a really good, next year and it does that increase by a quarter of a mil, he's pretty much where he wants to be. So, and I think that's really interesting that he's not listed on here and gone, I want to build a £5-10 million business that's going to require, if he sort of has looked at it and gone, I know based on the setup we have, the showroom size, I think it's about 5,500 square feet set up. If he's got that and he's thinking, well, I know I can do this $1 million off this, and it's profitable and it works, happy days. I've absolutely got some ideas of how he could quite happily get to that marker.
Yeah. I mean, just increasing that current ad spend a little bit. I think it'd get pretty
close.
We'll
see, Archie. We'll see. Don't give all the trade secrets away. But yeah, I think it needs a little bit of ads. What are the questions? Any questions he wants to sort of go through?
His questions are, how do I get customers to know that I am next to Topps Tiles? Which is an interesting one.
When I first read that, I'll just tell you before I even got him on, when I first I was like, what you could do is get like some sort of guerrilla marketing. It would rather tick them off. But you could get like someone dressed up in something and hold like a wacky great thing and just be I probably shouldn't say that, but
there's tons of those for Papa John's around where I live at the moment. They are on every roundabout.
You see what I mean?
There's a person with a billboard on them on every roundabout. It's unbelievable. That would definitely
I mean, that would, I'm sure Topps Tiles wouldn't be too pleased about that.
No, I don't think so.
But it's, I've got, that's a bit of a,
funny
a joke.
Marketing schemes
but,
could you do?
I've definitely got some ideas on how we can increase, brand awareness,
Call them bottom tiles or something. Mess with their head, And his second question, how do I make customers aware that we sell bathrooms?
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting with the current name of the business.
Yes, yeah. It's not immediately obvious. Tile and Stone Direct. It's not immediately obvious what they're doing. And it was interesting that he said that they're obviously, as the history of the business, as I understand it from the pre-chat was that all about tiles. The real tile expert knows his stuff, been in the trade, not just through this business, but previously worked in the trade, so knows everything you need to know about tiles.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, he said now that the business is increasingly becoming all about the bathroom. So tiles obviously within the bathroom, but the wider bathroom sort of setup and everything that goes with a bathroom. So that's interesting how that's evolving. Anything else?
How do I attract more bathroom fitters? So a bit more B2B focused.
Because I asked him, does he do? Because he said he's got like essentially a black book of people that he'll refer people to do the actual fitting. So we'll have to find out if that's what he means. Finding more of those. I mean, LinkedIn would be the obvious choice to find some of that.
That's very
but
true.
Also, if he does, the more marketing he does and the more brand awareness, the more he gets his brand out there, the more that will help naturally with him attracting fitters as a byproduct. In the same way as we create all of our content. It's an amazing recruitment tool, and we don't even try.
That's so true.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that. Good stuff. Well, look, I think that's pretty much the measure. Hopefully, you've got the sense of this business, local business. We love a local business coming on the pod because we can always give them very practical and actionable tips and tricks on go and do this very specifically. So hopefully, we can do that again today. Let's get Sagren on. Let's go for it. Let's do this.
Get him in.
Sagren, my friend, are you there?
I'm here, thank you.
There he is. You're coming through loud and clear. You well? How are you? You good?
I'm well. Yes, I'm well.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You said it. Yeah, you're very welcome. You said this is your first podcast. Is that right?
It is my first ever podcast.
There you go. Well, look, I'm honoured, genuinely, that it's your first one. And we'll play nice, don't worry. So you're in safe hands, my friend. And as we said in the pre-chat chat, just there is no question that is too daft or not right. So just fire away, and we want to help you grow this business. Just to sort of, before we get into it, do you want to just give 30 seconds, the business, in your own words?
Sure. I hail from South Africa. I've worked in the tile industry in South Africa. And then in 2001, I was recruited by Trustpilot to come and join them on a venture to expand the operations into Europe, starting in the Netherlands. That didn't materialize for me, but the company continued on a joint venture. I stayed in the UK and did a store manager role and then became a regional manager. And then in 2007, when the financial crisis hit, they needed somebody to go to Holland to close down those stores, which I went and did for 2 years. Came back and worked as a commercial buyer in the tile industry, 4 Tops. And then left them in 2012 to seek my own way in the tile industry. And then set up Tiles and Stone Direct in Chelmsford. And been trading ever since for the last 13 years.
Good man.
We've done well over the years. Over the 13 years, I've done other investments and consultancies within the tile industry. And most recently, I was involved in the last 3 years in a new setup on an online business for outdoor tiles. And then went on to acquire a 82 store format tile business that went into administration, and we pre-packed it and bought it back, and then acquired another business and went to administration. And then finally, I exited that business officially in April of this year, but left it working-wise July of last year, where I was the chief operating officer. And alongside that business, I kept my business. And another business, in a tile business similar to this, up in Chester, called Chester Tile Studio, that I own 50% of, and we set that up 12 years ago, and I got a business partner that runs that, and I own that 50-50.
Wow.
So I've had a lot of time in the tile industry. Yeah.
I was going to say, so anything anyone needs to know on tiles, you're the man. There you go. You're the guy.
In the UK, I understand pretty well.
Very good. Okay, amazing. So, and you've got your showroom is in Chelmsford, right next to Tops Tiles. And as a business, so in terms of, because you've been going for 12, 13 years, so you actually set up your business the same year I set up Evergreen. So there you go. There's a bit of synergy. In terms of the business, sort of, if you look over the years, where you are today in terms of turnover, personnel, where does that sit in comparison? Have you been much bigger, much smaller? Have you just grown organically? What's the sort of the history of that?
The last few years, so we grew really well until the year of COVID hit.
Okay.
And then came a change in retailing.
Yep.
The dynamics of retailing changed ever so slightly. The dynamics of the retail staff changed, and how people want to work. So that stagnated the business, and the growth kind of declined.
Right.
But what helped us maintain a level of turnover was the bathrooms, as in product diversification that I've added into the business, which has taken us about 5 or 6 years to mature.
Yep.
So we had reached turnover status of 600,000 pre-COVID.
Sure.
But there were a number of tangible changes taking place in the marketplace. So tiles has been a declining product over the last 5 or 6 years because of economic situations in the UK. It's a high ticket item.
Sure.
And people don't want to do bathrooms and tiles in an uncertain time, kind of stay away from spending that much cash on it, should I say.
Yep.
And also you've had cost of living increases, interest rates.
Yeah, sure.
Which then reduce the number of houses that are being bought and sold.
Yep.
And all of that then has a knock-on effect on the market.
Of course.
And so that's what's happened. So therefore the market's either stagnated or dropped.
Sure.
And we've had some real tangible changes around us. So whilst I've got Top Styles alongside me, opposite Tops, we've got B&Q. And opposite me and Tops, adjacent to us, we used to have Wix. And so back in 2018, Wix had moved away and relocated out of there to another part of town. And that took 2 years to become an Audi car dealership. And so we lost the footfall of that traffic coming into town. But also opposite town, so 10 minutes down the road, we've had a number of other retailers open on another sort of trade park where there's a dedicated tile specialist, a dedicated bathroom specialist, there's a kitchen specialist, there's a building merchant. So it kind of split the footfall in the town 2 ways.
Sure.
So for us to still maintain that sort of turnover, having lost all of that and having increased competition, as well as the economic decline in the country, I think we've done fairly well. I think we've been ahead of ourselves and reached our goal already.
You've ridden the storm, as it were, by innovating, haven't you? I mean, adapting, which is a lot of folks have. I mean, if we go back COVID, a lot of small businesses in this space, went online. They doubled down on e-com, and that's how they sort through. You've taken a slightly different approach and sort of tweaked the product offering, essentially. Interesting. Right. I've got loads of questions, and I've got some ideas and very actionable, practical stuff, which I want to go through and help you grow this business. But before any of that, it is time for Paid Media Mystery. Let's do this. Mystery. Right, come on, Archie, hit me with it.
This week's question is very relevant. What day of the week sees the highest online engagement for tile and stone ads in the UK?
Oh, which day of the week? The highest engagement?
I've got 4 options from you, so it's not.
Oh, get ready, Sagran. This is going to be this. You better get this one right. If you're the tile expert, the tile guru, no pressure.
Your answers are:
yes, come
A, Monday; B, Wednesday; C, Friday; or D, Sunday.
Oh, Sagran, what do you think? So it's
I think
best
it's
for
Friday.
engagement.
I think it's Friday.
Best for engagement.
Best sees the highest online engagement for ads. And it's quite a percentage difference.
Is it? I'm just thinking, so let's think about this. I am gonna say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday. I'm kind of inclined to say Sunday because people are not, they're not work, they're at home. You sort of think. I'm going to go, my instinct, as soon as you read them off, my instinct was, and I'm going to go with my instinct, because often I overthink it. I'm just going
to... You were Friday.
I said Friday, yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Answer is D, Sunday.
Oh, well done, you.
There you go.
Homeowners and renovators are most likely to browse tile and stone supplies on Sundays with up to a 22% higher click-through compared to weekdays.
Yeah.
and that's from Google Trends and Meta Ads engagement reports.
That's a good one. Well done, Archie. That's very good. I think the reason I sort of assumed it would be something is just we see it in our clients' data is, the weekend, Sunday's a good time. We've actually got, I just think for some of our clients, we've got budget increases where we'll spend more per click on, Sunday evening's a good time.
I guess for our clients, people are sat at home
it's
in the garden. Yeah, it makes
on
sense.
the phone, if you're there, the kid's gone to bed and it's like, oh, we're going to do this DIY project, we're buying this, it's, we see that. And so a couple of our hot tub clients, a couple of our furniture clients, we've got budget increases that and we'll be basically prepared to spend more and bid a little bit higher and a little bit more aggressively at those key hours for some of our clients, because we know people are very much in buying mode. And often they'll go, oh, we just want to get it sorted before we're back at work tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's that kind of mindset that we
Makes
tap
sense.
into. So, there you go. Very good. Very good. That was there you go. He almost forgot to do that.
That was
eagle-eyed,
flying
thinking, where was
tabs.
Where was the where was the end? I was waiting for it. I was like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? And then he did it. Well done. Right. Okay. So good. Let's get straight into these marketing challenges. So what, from a marketing perspective, just give us a little bit of a whistle stop. You said you were on TV a couple of years ago. You're doing a bit of radio now. Just give us a flavour of how are you getting your business out there to the lovely folks of Chelmsford.
So if I take you back in time, so when we originally started, we did nothing except put up signs. So I mentioned some guerrilla marketing and advertising. We've done all of that. Breezy men outside our shop. Signage right opposite Top Styles entrance on the roadside.
Okay.
Up till now, we've got signage opposite B&Q and close to Top so people can see us. So we've done all of that. And actually, we can do better. Something that Archie mentioned, and it's true, is that when we had set up the business, we've got the same color scheme as when we set up. However, Tops had changed corporately from a yellow and blue to the charcoaly looking color they've got now, and then maintain that yellow color underneath with the white writing. So what we've started to do recently in the last 6 months or so, we started to put a lime green sort of horizontal line and bordering
I saw that
of
on
our
your
signage.
Website. Yeah, your website's got a lot of green on now, I see.
And that's just to differentiate us from them and make something stand out better than them without trying to make it too cheap and devalue what we're doing. So, and it's probably the wrong color at the moment, but it's a color that stands out the best in terms of a guerrilla marketing point of view from where we're based, just to make it different.
Sure. Okay.
So what have we done over the last 13 years? We did nothing at the beginning except guerrilla marketing. And by doing that, we attracted more tradesmen to shop with us.
Sure.
And by offering them great deals and great service, they intend start to send their retail customers and refer them to us. And we use that all the way through from 2012, 2016, up to probably 2017 or something. And that just maintained that. We then tried in between some digital advertising using a digital agency, going through the stats and the KPIs and the dashboards. I could never really work out whether it was working or not, is the truth. Then we tried some local magazines, like, the local parish council magazines.
Sure. Yep.
Done those things to get our names out to the local market. And then, fortunate in some ways, I was sourced out via a producer via LinkedIn for Channel 4. And they do the program called Luxury for Less.
Okay.
How do you buy tiles cheaply? How do you buy tiles cheaper?
Sure.
Spending an arm and a leg on it. And they then came and interviewed us in the store, recorded us, and put us onto Channel 4 on TV. And that gave us a bit of a boost along the local areas with us. We saw the shop on TV, so we came down.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah. We then used that platform to boost it further through Facebook, Instagram, not paid, just organic.
Okay.
As well as any local marketing we had done via the parish councils and the magazines, we'll say as seen on TV, things like that. And then came the point where I said, we need to transition. And we need to transition into bathrooms at some point. And then COVID hit.
Yep.
And then we kind of started doing bathrooms a year before COVID and continued that process through. And it's only just about matured. So over the years, our biggest form of marketing at the moment and has been is word of mouth, which is the best form of marketing because it's free and it's a referral. And almost every day, if I had to ask a customer, how did they find it? Say, oh, my neighbor used you, my uncle used you, my mum used you, the bathroom fitter sent me, the tiler sent me. Or the guy at Top Tiles next door sent me because we couldn't find anything in there. And that's been a strong marketing platform for us. And then when we went onto Shopify in 2001, just when COVID hit, and we went online almost immediately, we then said we never had a review platform at all. And then we set up a Trustpilot review platform via Shopify that obviously sends a link or a message back to the customer by email to leave us a review. And that's built up our momentum as well. And now we've got an online we've got the online platform, we've got let's call it a half decent website, and we've got a really strong review feedback via Trustpilot.
I was going to mention reviews because when I looked at your maps to look at how close you were to Top Tiles, your Google reviews are really, really nice. Like tons of really genuine, really long.
They're all
reviews.
genuine.
Yeah, saying that they've been referred from friends. They couldn't believe how good it was, etc., etc. So yeah, you've definitely done well on the customer service.
So we got Google reviews, and not as many as Trustpilot reviews. We got a lot more Trustpilot. So. And the Google reviews we had to push within the store to try and get people to, would you like to leave us a review?
Yeah.
Whereas a Trustpilot one sends you a link and then you do it automatically, kind of thing. And so between both of them, we've kind of done really well in the local market. Because when I check reviews of Tops or a CTD or a Tile Giant or a local independent, we're thereabouts. You're right at the top. And if you look for tile shops in Chelmsford, we're up there. Top 3, top 4, we're there without spending any money on it.
Okay. So, just to want to interject because there's a few things there. So, but from a marketing, you're mostly reliant on word of mouth, which is great.
Yep.
I'm with you. I think that
and
is
passing
great.
Traffic. Yep.
Yeah, well, passing trade, footfall.
Yep.
So that's good. And I think if this is a business that you just wanted to sort of tick along quite nicely, then I think keep doing more of the same. But the definition of insanity is to do the same thing and expect different results, right? And so if as you put on the application here, you wanted to kick this business on and grow by 200 or 300 grand in the next year and get up to that £1 million turnover. As a business, have you ever been at £1 million turnover?
No.
Right, fine. So if you were to get to that, have you ever gone above 750?
No.
Fine. So if we were to do that, if you were to do that as a business, that's new territory, right?
Yep.
And and in the last 12, 13 years, you haven't got to that stage. So we're going to need to look at what else we can do to take this business into, that next echelon. Okay, we want to be at a 7-figure business, turning over, etc. You are going to need to invest in marketing to make that happen because when referral, recommendation is all good stuff. It's all very organic and we want it and we love it, but you can't dial that up, like directly. Indirectly you can, but directly, if you would have said, we must grow by £250,000 this year, what do we need to do? You don't have any tangible levers when it comes to referral recommendation.
That's
so
correct.
We want that, but we're going to have to look at what else we can do. Which is why, you're in good company on the pod because I've got a few ideas of what I would do if this was my business. So I think from a social media perspective, or anything you do with any kind of ads, and it's not going to surprise you or our listeners and viewers that I'm going to suggest in part, not entirely, but in part, I think localized ads is going to be great. With ads, whether it's Google ads, Meta ads, any of these platforms, and they are probably the biggest two for you, a bit of Bing as well. But any of these, the great thing about doing these sort of ads is you want to localize them. And we do masses of localized ads for clients. And we do it because it works. And the reason it works is because you can show a variety of ads, search, shopping, we'll come on to what I would recommend you do, but to a very localized area. And what you have got, which is great, is you've got some legacy. That showroom's been there for a number of years. So there's that back of mind thinking, oh, well, they've been there for more than a decade. There's clearly a market for what you are selling because right opposite or next door, you've got Top Tiles, you mentioned B&Q and various others. So there's clearly a market there. Chelmsford, there's no shortage of chimney pots. So you've got a captive audience. So you could with your ads, whether it's Google ads or Meta ads, you target that very specifically and very locally, then you know you're going to capture people's attention in the local area.
Sure.
I do think search ads would be a very interesting thing for you to explore very locally. Are you doing any Google ads at the minute? Because you mentioned you're chucking a couple of quid behind stuff. What is that?
just on keywords locally.
Fine. So, but are you doing that? Have you got someone doing it?
No, I did it myself. Yes. So.
Fine, because I think that that's often if you're only spending a few quid, then it's like just you're not too worried if it doesn't work for you. But
that's
if you want it, like most things, if you want it done, I could have a go at tiling my bathroom. I'd do a hash job of it, but I could have a bash at it. In the same, the table flips on the other side, right? You could have a go at doing ads. Is it going to work? Questionable. Mm-hmm. So, but super localized ads is going to be one of the absolute things I would, recommend you do. But I think what I would want to do, and if I was running this business, what I'd be thinking is, well, what makes us, what is it about us? Why would someone come to us, not a Topps Tiles? Before we go any further, are you enjoying today's episode? If so, you'll love our other show, Tea Talks. They're short, informal chats where the Evergreen experts and I share actionable nuggets on all things paid media, creative, and digital strategy that we use daily when growing our clients' businesses. And best of all, much like this podcast, it's completely free. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, see the link in the description. Now, let's get back to it. What is that? Why would someone buy from you versus Topps Tiles? What are your thoughts?
Somebody will buy from me versus Topps.
Yeah,
we've got range of product that they can't compete with, so we make a product of differentiation.
Price? Why wouldn't they? Why couldn't they compete? Or why couldn't they, compare? What is it? Are you better on price? Are you better on service? Are you better on range?
We're better on range.
Okay.
We're better on price, and we're far better on service.
Fine. Okay. So sounds like a no-brainer. But so I think what I would be focusing on is, you're independent, you're all of those sort of key things. Yes. So I think from a messaging perspective, I think that's going to be really key, is because not everyone wants to shop at the nationals and at the chains. So
correct.
Running some keep it really simple, right? Running some super targeted, localized Google ads, search ads. So people are in the local area and they're looking for a showroom, and I think that is how I would. And then I would, with the ads, the copy within the ads, I would be making it very clear. We're local, we're independent, this is us. You put all your key information into the ad, the phone number, the address, the postcode, the all of that. You can add site links, and you do all of what we would consider the basics within your ads, but you give the customer or the potential customer all the information they need, and you make it super easy. And because you are localized, there's things that you can do that a Topps Tiles won't be able to do as well, because you are, your single location, you are very tightly focused on that area. That is your home patch. So that, Google ads, I think, could be very, very interesting. Now, you mentioned before we came on air that you've tried, you're working with agencies and it's just never really worked. And just expand on that, because I know there'll be a lot of people listening and watching going, we're a small business, we've tried Google ads and it hasn't worked, and yet I'm telling you to do it. So just, if you don't mind, what did you do, and how long did you do it, and what did you invest, and just what's the history there?
So going back maybe 2014, 15, we've tried some Google ads through a local marketing agency.
Right. Okay.
And in all my interactions over the years using marketing agencies, there isn't an understanding. I feel there's almost like a misconception from what the marketing agency wants to do versus what the business owner or the business manager wants to achieve. And a lot of KPIs and dashboard works and impressions and all of those things come into play. And I understand most of everything.
Sure.
People, and I know you need to create a funnel. And I know the funnel filters down into a sale at some point.
Right.
And most people's funnels is impressions. And I think to myself,
I think you're talking to the wrong marketers, Sagran. I mean, I couldn't give a toss about impressions.
Impressions.
It's no. I mean, it's interesting. I think there's a saying that I quite like, which is, if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough. I think it might be Einstein that was famously quoted as saying that. But that that sentiment is very true. You know, a good, maybe just not been working with the wrong marketers. You know, I think if you're going to start this small, I think do it yourself. You know, I think most people, you need to sort of, you know, there's this thing called YouTube. You can swat up. Doesn't mean you're gonna do it very, you know, like perfectly, but you can certainly figure out the basics and you can get yourself started. You know, I think marketers, you know, are guilty of trying to overcomplicate things. You know, everyone in this world loves to we're all guilty of overcomplicating stuff in our lives for no reason. And marketers are very guilty of doing this. And I think, you know, say a lot of marketers will go, oh, and they'll talk about, you know, you just then in that little monologue that you said there, you're talking about impressions, you're talking about funnels, you're talking about this. Like, no, none of that matters. None of that matters. For you, this is a case of you're a local business. You need to, right, based on our location, I want to run some local search ads. When people are looking for tile showroom, bathroom showroom, they're putting near me, close by, nearest, Chelmsford, you know, any of these sort of terms, you do a bit of research and you use Google Search Console to help you with that research. Do you know what that is, Search Console?
No.
Okay, so what a bit of homework for you. I want you to, after this, do you have Google Analytics set up on your site?
Yep.
Right, great. So Google Analytics, and that tells you how much traffic's coming to your site, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. There's another, and that's a free tool from Google that did you set it up, or did your developer set it up, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Either way.
So whoever set that up for you, you need to go to speak to that person and say, Google Search Console. It's a free tool from Google. And if you think of analytics, will tell you the traffic to your site. So how many visitors came this week, this month, what they're doing, the pages they're going to, etc., right? Google Search Console will tell you how they're finding you. So it's a step before. It does many, many other things, but the key thing you want it to do is you want to tell you how people search for and are finding your business. And you'll see in there, you'll see branded terms. If you go into the performance section, look at the filter by UK data, and then look at the last 12 months. And it will say, you'll see lots of tone and style direct. You'll see people searching for your phone number, for your address. But you'll also see Chelmsford terms. You'll see showroom terms. You'll see bathroom terms. You'll see tile terms. And that's like a little treasure trove that gives you insights. Oh, okay, this is how people are searching and finding my business. You take those terms and then you create a Google search campaign where you say, I want to bid on and you put them, there's different match types within Google, but you say, I want to bid on these terms, exact match. You only do exact match for this. And the reason is because these days, exact match isn't actually exact match. It's exact and close variance. So you say, if someone is within a 5-mile radius of your showroom, this is what I would do. I would say, if someone's in a 5-mile radius of my showroom and they are looking for a bathroom or a tile showroom, that sort of thing, then I absolutely want to be popping up in front of them. It doesn't mean every click is going to turn into a sale.
Yeah.
But what you want to do is you want to say, well, look, I'm going to put 200, 300, 400, 500 quid behind that a month. I'm going to see if I even spend that, make sure the terms are an exact match and they're localized. And I'm going to measure that over a 3-month period. So maybe you spend $1,000 over 3 months. And I'm going to see what difference it makes to the footfall in my store.
So I'll give you some idea, right? So I've just pulled up an email that says your business profile report with 273 interactions last month.
Okay.
Your performance at a glance: 48 telephone calls, 99 people asked for directions, 120 sites.
Yeah. It's the Google Business Performance Report. You're telling me, right? Yeah.
And then top searches below it: tiles direct, 392, top styles, 171, tile shops and Chelmsford, 48.
There you go. So that email is good, but what I want you to do, that you will be able to take that those sort of insights you're gaining, and you'll get far deeper insights by using Google Search Console. And if you struggle with it, ping whoever it is looks after your website an email. If they get stuck or they don't know what they're doing, send me an email. You've got my email. Send me an email, and I will walk you or them through how to do it. Get that set up, and it will be like opening Pandora's box in as much as you'll get all these lovely terms. You go, blimey, look what this is the way people are finding my business. And then you create a search campaign that is super localized, and it's to get in front of those people. Because with a small business like this, it's common sense marketing is what we want. It's we want common sense prevails, and we're just going to say, is it logical? Does it make common sense to get my business in front of my customer, if they're 20 minutes down the road or 10 minutes down the road, or they're within a certain radius, and they're actively looking for exactly what I do. Yes, it is. And the key thing for you to ensure you spend the minimal amount and get the highest likelihood of them being genuinely interested is I would be focusing on the showroom type searches, store, showroom, because what you don't really want, I know you do have a part of your business which is e-com, but what you want is to get the people in the store. So those that are just looking for, they may be based in Chelmsford, but they're looking for tiles online and stuff like that. I wouldn't be too focused on going after those, because
there wouldn't be a market that I will want to fulfill, and the cost of it. I mean, I sell tiles online, but I don't do it in the same.
It's not your primary focus. Our primary focus is getting people in the door, right? Yeah. So which is why, again, common sense. You say, well, I want to write localized ads to a local audience when they're actively searching for what I do and where I do it. And that's why it's, tile showrooms in Chelmsford. It's tile showrooms near me, bathroom showrooms, local bathroom showrooms. There'll be all these nuances and quirks, local, nearby, closest, near me, all of those. And then you've got Chelmsford. Then you might put some of the surrounding areas, all of that to feed in. And then you use the copy within the ads to highlight the USPs of the business. So we're local, we're independent, we have, a great range. I mean, you could even, what I would probably do if we were working on this is we would probably tap into and play into the, I would almost include some of Top Styles copy, have a bit of fun with the ad copy. We're not Top Styles,
I've done that before. Even on my Facebook marketing, I say, we're right next to Top Styles.
Exactly, but also you could play, you could have a little bit of a play with that. I've seen some, we do some really creative stuff with messaging of when you've got a bigger competitor, it's like, oh, we're not these guys, we're better than these guys because of this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So I think that then you've also got, and I think with that as well, you need to spend a few hours swatting up on, you either need to pay someone to do it properly, or you need to spend some time swatting up and doing it. But there is absolutely no reason why localized Google ads like that shouldn't work, because all logic dictates if someone's local and they're looking, you want to get in front of them. And because if you're not in front of them, then you can be sure as, bet that Top Tiles and all these other competitors are going to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So I think there's that. But I don't think you have to spend a fortune with this. I would be earmarking, 20 quid a day type thing, £10 a day. I would go, right, let's just start with that. Let's just see what it does. But what you've got to do, and what the mistake a lot of people make, is they go, well, I'll do that. I'll do it for a week. And I'll see if, suddenly people are pushing in the door to come in. It's not going to make a difference. You need to look at it over a 3-month period, because that will give you long enough to factor in the consideration phase of people. They might pop in, then they might just have a quick browse, then they leave, then they come back, then they're online. So you need to, and also if you think of the buying journey for your customer, someone's considering putting a bathroom in, that may take them weeks and months. So you do over 3 months, and then you basically look at your P&L and you just turn around and go, right, based on the last couple of years, this last 3 months, revenue would typically be X or Y. Have we seen a noticeable up? We've spent a couple of grand on ads. What's that done to the bottom line? I would be amazed if you couldn't see like, oh, do you know what? We're a good 10, 20, 30K up on what we normally do if you did that.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to invest in it over a period of time. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to speak to a marketer. And if anyone starts talking about, oh, we need to create a full funnel, we need to start doing this. No, we're keeping it simple. Use the KISS analogy. Keep it simple, stupid. Lots of people overcomplicate this stuff. And really, the same principle applies when it comes to Meta, which is your Facebook and your Instagram. You said you do some organic stuff.
Yeah.
I would be, without a doubt, doing some localized Meta. So the same sort of targeting, super local. The key difference with Meta is they're not actively looking, right? They're not, if they're on Google, they're actively searching.
Yes.
With Meta, you can't guarantee that. So what I would be doing is, in the first instance, and this is where it won't cost you very much at all, I would be doing retargeting. So I would be using Meta. Once someone's been on the website, once someone's engaged with your page on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I would be capturing all of those people, and then I would be showing a series of ads to those folks to basically keep your business top of mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a part of the creative for what I would be doing with that, and if you do that, I mean, like, you could run that £5 a day and you'd stay top of mind with probably tens and tens and tens, of your target customers over a period of time. But what I would be doing with that, and this is all stuff you could do yourself. I'm not saying you need to go and get an agency to book you. Like, this is all stuff you can do yourself. So you could, again, bit of research and swatting up, but you could set up a very localized, simple campaign. And then I would have probably 3 different types of creative. I would have images. So, I would, show off one, like, product focused images that showcase, I would then have product images that show off the showroom. So very clear, nice picture of the showroom showing, oh, they've got loads of bathroom setups, this and the other. I'd have all of that. And then one of the other creatives I would do is a video that I would get one of your colleagues, and if you're happy to be on film, I would do it. You stood outside the front of, the on the road or whatever. And I would literally basically do it as like a 30-second, really quick, but hi, I'm Sagren. This is my business. We're, Tiles and Stone Direct. We're based right next to Top Tiles. Let me show you in. And then the camera literally would follow you through, walk round the side of Top Tiles, into the front door of yours. You see the showroom, and then you turn back to camera, and it's just like, come on down. We'd love to have a chat. Get to know us, get to know our friendly, team, that sort of vibe. That's something Top Tiles are never going to do in a month of Sundays, right?
Yep.
But it's something you could do. It humanizes your brand. It shows people where you physically are. It's a touch point that people will be able to come in and go, oh, Sagren, I saw you on the ad. And the beautiful thing about this is you're only going to show that ad to people that have already expressed an interest. They've either been in store, they've been on the website, they've engaged with you on socials, they've clicked one of your ads. So they're in market is what we would call it.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
So simple. You could do all of this. And these are things that I would do. And you do it on your phone, you create a little video, you get someone to edit it together, pay someone to get someone to edit it for you, create a lovely little slick little thing. You're off to the races.
Sounds good.
Yeah? That's the sort of thing that how you can leverage Meta. And again, at this
that's
stage,
the sort of thing I want to hear today, if I'm honest. Genuinely.
It's what, sorry?
That's the sort of thing we want to hear today.
Exactly. This is exactly what you can do all of these things. And I think don't let the idea of, oh, it's got to be perfect stop you making progress. Don't want to let, you can easily do these things yourself, and you just got to get out there. You just got to get out there. And I think what a lot of small business owners are looking to do is looking for that silver bullet. If I just do this one thing.
And there's no silver bullet,
There's not. You need to mix it up. And I think those super localized Google ads, those super localized Meta ads, but putting your face on it, getting out there, little piece to camera, like beautiful. I would have one of the shots of you stood outside, proud as punch, with your signage above you, really welcoming. Just that, you almost need to become, for this business to work and for you to stand out, for people to choose to go to you as the independent rather than the national, they've got to get to know you. You've as long as you're happy to do it, you've got to be the person. Oh, I want to go see Sagran. We've got several clients where they recognize and understand that because we work with them, we tell them to do it, and they put their face on it. They say, look, this is me, this is my business. And people come in and go, oh, I saw you on the ad. Oh, I've seen you on YouTube. I've seen this. It just adds that authenticity, because exactly to your point before we came on air is I said to you, like, what's the difference between you and say a Top Tiles? And you said, think of us, or think of you as like the Alex Ferguson of whereas you were there for years, whereas what did you say that? Just repeat that, because that was really great way of explaining it.
What I said was, consider me the Alex Ferguson of the football world, and then the football club next door down the road as a 10 football managers in the time, and I'm still here. So It shows that we've sustained our business over a period of time where they couldn't. And whatever reason they couldn't. Yes.
And customers love that. Customers will love that, because if you're buying from a local business as a consumer, I would love to buy, love buying from independents where you get in and you get to know, the person you're buying from, and then there's that connection, and you can do that by just sprinkling in I would also be doing your organic socials on a similar sort of vein. I would be capturing selfies. I would be taking pictures.
I do that already on Meta kind of thing, where I do little videos of the showroom or myself or photos of ourselves.
There you go.
And I target that at. So what I've done is local community groups. So Chelmsford, Billericay, Basildon, whatever's around me.
Yep.
I then go and join those local groups, and they give you option to advertise.
Yep.
And when they give me an option to advertise, it's exactly what I do. But in there's people asking, where can I find a bathroom fitter? And then I can say, come and see us at Tiles and Stone Direct. Speak to Freya, our design showroom manager.
There you go.
More than happy to. So I do those things all the time. So I'm looking for those opportunities, and I myself physically go myself in and look. And when I find, I then market my business to those people that way.
And you've got to keep doing that, because that is beautiful. But what you can do is you can just add a little bit of rocket fuel into it with paid. If you put a few quid behind it, you can then proactively get in front of even more of those people, because organically, super important to do, but your reach is going to be limited. If you chuck a few quid behind things, and if you've got posts that you do that perform well organically, you can, I'm not a fan of boosting posts, but you can repurpose some of that content. And that worked really well. That really resonated. That little walkthrough that I did, that little explainer, that little hello type thing. You can then take them and think, well, that worked. If I chuck a few quid behind that, and if I get my Google retargeting set up and meta retargeting, and my ability to leverage that, you can drive it in. I would also be taking your customer list. So everyone that's bought from you over the last few years, I would be taking that data, and I would be using that to retarget as well, because you can plug that data, if they're customers, into Google and Meta, take that, because again, it's that top of mind piece. Oh, this is who we are. We're here as and when you've got, a need, you're thinking about redoing a bathroom or whatever, bear us in mind. It's not going to give you a direct sort of shot in the arm return, as in like, oh, well, we're going to put, but then you're not having to spend a huge amount. And it's these, I would be doing lots of little things in terms of, a bit of Google, a bit of Meta over a period of time, and then looking at the overall impact. So I'd look at it and go, right, if I spend, if you're doing 600,000-700,000, on, I don't know what your marketing budget is, or if you even have one, but I would be looking at that and going, right, as a business, what can we afford to invest in marketing? Right, we're going to put X amount into a bit of radio. We're going to, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. I would be looking, going, right, what have I got available to put in? What do I need to invest to grow the business? Because one of the things to remember as well is a lot of businesses that, that we speak to are, they come up with their marketing budgets based on where they are today. And I said, well, that's great, but you need to invest. You're investing in growth. You're wanting to, invest in where you want to be, not where you are. So you need to look ahead and go, okay, if we're serious about adding 250,000 to our turnover, what do we need to invest to make it happen? Because that additional 250 of sales most likely is not going to come from referrals and repeat and recommendation. It's about, how do we get new customers? Yeah. And I think you've got to invest in that. So I'd be looking at going, right, do I need to take 10% of that, 15% of that, where we want to be, and reinvest that into realizing that? Because if you could say, well, do you know what, if I said to you, Sagren, put 20, give me 20K and I'll grow your business by 250K, you're going to go, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
It's a no-brainer, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But people don't do that, because they go, well, hold on, I've got to invest 25K. I'm only doing 600 turnover. I only made, 70K profit last year, 80K profit. That's going to eat. That's the mindset people have. And that's what stops them doing. They go, well, I'm not going to invest 30K. What I'll do is I'll invest $1,000. I'll do it over a month. I'll see if it works. And then if it does, I'll do more. That is most businesses. And that's why it goes wrong. Because I look at it and I go, well, no, where do you want to be? And then we work backwards. And then we are smart about where we need to invest the money and what's the best avenues. And I think, as I said, the super localized stuff is how you're going to do that. Now, it's not just pay. It's not just the paid stuff. And if you need, I've given you a couple of things there to go and look into. If you get stuck, give me a shout. I'll genuinely, happily jump on a call and I'll walk you through how to do it when we're off air. But aside from that, what I would also do, if this was my business, I'd be putting leaflets out a couple of times a year. Are you doing any of that?
No, we haven't done that. We've done it once or twice in the past, but we haven't done it recently.
I would be putting leaflets out for sure in the local area, because there's no shortage of chimney pots, as say in Chelmsford. But what I would do, I would put them out 2 or 3 times. I'd do at least 2 leaflet drops a year at least.
Yeah.
Branded up really nice leaflet. But what you want to do on the leaflet is you want to add some sort of like call to action. So what I would do, and what we've worked with several clients doing exactly this. I love putting on an event. right? You've got a 5,000 plus square foot place there. So what I would be doing if this was my business, I'd be going, right, what I want to do is I'm gonna put on a summer event, right? You do it on a payday weekend. You put it on for a couple of days, and you put on, you know, some drinks, get some prosecco in, that sort of stuff, and you do it as a sort of a local event. And it's like, we're going to run a summer special, discounts, this, that, and the other, you know. And then I would be doing leaflets to put out. So the leaflet serves two purposes. One, it's we're here. Here's the address. Here's our, you know, opening time. This is what we've got. We've now got, look at all these bathroom suites, etc., etc. But then a third of the leaflet, or a portion of it, would be, oh, and we're also running this, you know, this open day coming up in, you know, 3-4 weeks time. That give anyone that's then thinking, oh, we're looking at bathroom, or we're planning to, suddenly you've given them a reason to think, you know what, we're going to note that down. We're going to pop in there.
Yeah.
Those that aren't, that are maybe not interested right now, is going to get stapled to the fridge. Yes, some's going to get thrown away, but you've both told them you're there, but you've also given the ones that are maybe, possibly maybe thinking about it, a reason to now go, do you know what, actually, we will pop down there and go and see them. And we've told our clients to do that. And several of them have done that in the last sort of year or so, to great effect, because they're increasing brand awareness locally. Your big nationals are not going to do that. And you are giving people a reason to come in store. And what you do as well is you couple the physical leafleting with, I would do some guerrilla-based stuff, you know, down the high street, giving leaflets out, down all of that. I would be also then incorporating it into your localized paid search and social, so your Meta and your Google as well.
Right.
As another string to the bow. You did that. If you did that, I would look at it and go, right, I'm going to drop, I don't know, the population of, Archie, can you find the population of Chelmsford? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is? So
170.
100, yeah, we'll have a look. I'm just curious what it is. But I would be, you know, I would be leafleting.
183,000. Wow. That is in 2022, though. So
yeah, but it's maybe
190 in it, something.
Wow. So, but that, I mean, that's massive. That is huge. You've got so many chimney bombs. I mean, one of our clients did this, and they distributed 35,000 leaflets.
Yeah.
And they had one of their best weekends they'd ever had in the 18 years they've run their business. They also, because we did a combination, we did leaflets, and it was for exactly, it was the February half term, was it?
Yeah, I believe
February half term.
Yeah,
it was this year. Yeah. And we did this, we documented this. You'll find this if you anyone watching our content, if you want to know who I'm talking about, it was Casabella furniture brand down in Wiltshire. They did, and we told them to do this. We did the whole online promotional piece, and we said to them, get some leaflets, do this, and we walked them through what to do. Had a massive impact on their business.
Huge.
In terms of driving loads of footfall to their business. Loads of customers were coming in going, I had no idea you were here.
Yeah.
And the other.
And they're still benefiting.
And they're still exactly that. They've said that in all these months later, they're still saying that because they raised awareness. They basically they waved a flag and was like, we're here. And that's what it would do for you. But I mean, you know, 180,000, and you can team up with the Royal Mail to add it. You know, they can distribute the leaflets for you. You can pay a company to do it. Yes, it would cost I don't know how familiar that, but it might cost you 3, 4, 5 grand to distribute that number of leaflets. You put the same into marketing, and I would be looking at it going, right, I'm going to this summer, I want to increase the revenue. I want to grow the revenue, you know, on a pro rata basis by at least 100K. And I'd be going, if to do that, I'm going to invest 10 into a combination of leaflets and super localized paid search. You do that over a 6-8 week window, and then, you know, see the return.
It's probably the best time to do it as well, because we're doing the radio advertising.
There you go. It's just, it's omnipresent. This is it, Sagren. It's beautiful. You've got to be omnipresent, right? Because then they see, you know, some of the team down the high street, they're giving out leaflets. They get one through the door. You're then, you know, oh, he's putting on an event. Oh, I'll go and have a look, actually. We were thinking about this, right? You've given someone a reason to things. Others staple it to the fridge. Then they're hearing you on the radio. Then they go on, do you know what? I'm going to do a little search, or I'm going to go on this website. All the people that go on your website, you are then telling them, you're then retargeting them, right? So then they see an ad on Meta, and they see your face pops up, and it's like, oh, hi, I'm sorry, this is me, this is my business, come and let me show you the showroom. And then they recognize, they go, that's just down the road. I recognize where that is. I drive past that every day. And then they see you walk in the shop, they go, I had no idea they were there, right? All of these touch points, suddenly you're omnipresent, you're out there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And in the grand scheme of things, you know, a 800,000 pound business, you drop 15, 20K to make that a realization. Jobs are good one. But people don't think like this. Do you see what I'm saying? People don't look at it like in that way. People look at it and go, well, I'm going to be conservative. I'm just going to, you know, spend 500 quid. I'm going to try this and it doesn't really work. And you need to you need to go big. You need big within a small business context, but you need to just hit it across multiple fronts. And also remember that there'll be some residual value that you will get off the back of doing this is what we're describing as a marketing campaign, right? I'm not saying do this forever. I'm saying blast this for 3 months. Put your events, your in-person events, in-showroom event in the heart of this. You blast it for 3 months. You measure the return, and then you look and go, right, well, now we're gonna do a winter one, and we're gonna do a summer one, and suddenly it becomes a thing, and you do it 2 or 3 times a year. And because what you're doing, you're increasing brand awareness locally. You're becoming famous to a few, famous to the folks of Chelmsford. Now, someone in a year from now, they might see your stuff, see your ad. Oh, do you know what? When we do our bathroom renovation, or when we do that build project, when we do come to change this, we're going to go there because they wouldn't right now. They would have gone to Top Tiles because they didn't even know you were there.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? That's the way you got to think about it. And that is how I would grow this business. One thing I would say, and Archie flagged this up, so full credit to Archie for doing this, is on the website, you said at the minute, half of your business is now bathrooms in terms of, but if you go on your website, and this is often the case, you would not know. There's no mention of bathrooms anywhere.
There's no mention of it,
Yeah. So you need to look at that in terms of, because from a perception standpoint, you are absolutely not telling anyone, oh, we do bathrooms. You've got the brand name, Tiles and Stone. And then if I come in, it's tiles, it's accessories, it's this, that, and the other. I would be putting bathroom front and center. Also, a little tip for you and anyone watching that I mention regularly on the pod is make sure that your website, a good litmus test. People often threat about how to SEO their website and how to optimize their website. I've done SEO for 20 years. The best advice I can give to any small business that operates within a set area, so is very geographically focused, is look at your website and read it back and make sure that every page and all the key messages on your website convey what you do and where you do it. Now, if we look at yours, if I come onto the website at the moment, you've got the scrolling banner, which is very much much product focused. So it's talking about the product, view this collection, view that collection, etc., etc. Personally, I would be focused more on this is who we are, and this is what we sell basically, and this is where we are. So you need to get in. That's because it's not immediately obvious if I come on here. Oh, you're a showroom. Oh, you're 5 minutes around the corner from me. Yeah, I've got to scroll down 2/3 of the page before I get to that information where it says welcome to then you've got Tiles and Stone Direct in Chelmsford. So you need to do a better job of conveying what you do, which again starts with bathrooms. That's now half your business, and this is where we do it. And what I would do is when you're looking through your website, because again, you don't need anyone else to do that. You could do that. You could go back and look at your website and go, right, what do I need to change to really convey this is what we sell, this is where we sell it. And so for you, your opening tag on your page title says buy tiles online. You're not focused on selling online. So what it should be is tile and bathroom showroom in Chelmsford. It's the Ron Seal approach, right? Say it on the tin. That's what your that's your headline in. The page title, the heading should be tile and bathroom showroom in Chelmsford. That says exactly what it is. If I come on there, great. I'm looking for tiles. I'm looking for a new bathroom suite, and they're in Chelmsford. Lovely. I'm on my way. Yeah, and you're not doing that. So I think that, and then take that principle and apply that across all of the pages. Right, we've got this specific product, and it's in our showroom, and the showroom's in Chelmsford, and we're open at these times. Come on down. Meet the team. Yeah? There you go. And right, what were the other questions? Let's see if there was anything else, because I think we've probably answered most. So that your key questions were, how do I get customers to know that I'm next to Top Tiles? I think we've well and truly covered that. How do we just covered the second one, which was how do I make customers aware that we sell bathrooms? Exactly as we've discussed. And then the third question was, how do I attract more bathroom fitters? Well, I would suggest that everything we've just described, if you were doing all of that, there's no way bathroom fitters are not going to see you.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're not going to say, but what I would do is if you want more bathroom fitters, put it out there, let it be known. So I would have an in-store graphics that on the till, that sort of thing. I would have them installed that very clearly says, are you a bathroom fitter, or why not, however you partner up, join us, become a whatever, put that in store. You'd be amazed, people that will be in store and go, oh yeah, actually that's me, or oh, my brother, my husband is this, that and the other. Just ask for it. And then I would also put it on the website. You could have it as a, are you, like, I would clean up this menu personally, and maybe one of the things you would have is, are you a bathroom fitter? Or, with a question mark, someone clicks the page. Are you a bathroom fitter in Chelmsford? We're the biggest independent, longest standing, We're looking to, this, that, and your messaging, whatever you want to say. You're not asking for it. So that's why you're not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I mean?
Sense.
So
yeah, sure.
That's just I like to keep things really simple. And I think that everything we've talked about, that's how I would grow this business. And I think if you did all of that, I don't think you'd have a problem getting them to £1 million in the next 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Anything else, Sagren?
No. Thank
Has
you.
it been useful? It's your first pod. How have you found it?
So. Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Good stuff. Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Best of luck. Just go and action those things. And it is a bit of a hop, skip, and a jump to think suddenly, okay, I need to, if I'm not investing anything right now or doing a couple £100, I fully appreciate it is a bit of a, squeaky bum moment to think, oh, do you know what? I need to suddenly go and spend 20 grand. But if you spend 20 grand very well and very considered and across multiple touch points and over a clear, long enough but short enough time frame where you can measure it in terms of what has that done to my P&L? What has that done to the business? If you do it right, there's no way you're not going to get a return on it, because you've got 180,000 chimney pots in the local area, and a decent proportion of them are going to be thinking about doing something in their house.
Yeah, sure.
Even 1%. I mean, you're laughing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, look, thank you so much for being on. Best of luck with it. And as I said, if you get stuck with any of that stuff in terms of the access and the bits and bobs, Search Console, just give me a shout and I'll help you set it up.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Sagren, it's been good fun. Thanks for being on. Well, there you go. That was Sagren. That was hopefully quite useful conversation. I love getting small businesses on the pod because there's really practical stuff that they can do. That like that. So hopefully, if, that's helped you. If you are a small business and you operate, you've got a showroom, you've got a store, which a lot of our audience are those sort of business owners, and they operate within a set area. They've got their local town, their local city. There's so many things you could do that common sense needs to prevail with this. But I think, as we said there, it's an omni-channel approach. The local radio, the local Facebook groups, all of those things. I think you need to be across it all, and then you just need to add a few more strings from a paid perspective, or both online and offline. You're off to the races. But we do more and more champion, combining on the online with the offline, but put a reason to buy now, because I might be thinking about tiles or a bathroom or this and the other. But give me a reason to sort of go, I got it out now. Because if I get it all the time, I get leaflets through the door, I get to see ads like every day, we all do. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. But there's no urgency. There's no sense of, I need to do that now. Whereas if you turn around and go, we've got this, it happens a literal time. There's a couple of things that with my wife and I are doing right now. And it's like, we've seen that and there's a certain timeline to it. It may be a certain offer, or it may be a certain event, or it may be a certain, activity that's on. It was like, we'll do that because there's a bit of time sensitivity to it. So, it adds a little bit of urgency and just gets people, because we're all busy and it's very easy. We see something, we're going to do that. Then we get distracted and it gets forgotten about. So there you go. Well, look, it's been really good fun. Anything to add, Archie, or you all good?
On that last one, on event sort of thing, something I should have mentioned during the podcast to compliment Sagran on was one of the many amazing reviews I read mentioned a massive clearance that they had done, which was humongous discounts.
There you go. That is exactly the idea of turning that in, making it a thing. I'm such a fan of making it a thing, making it an event, turning it into, giving it a bit of focus. It focuses the mind and it focuses it into, and you think of it, even on a small budget, into like it becomes a marketing campaign.
Yeah.
It becomes we're going to run a clearance event rather than, we've got some clearance stock. We're going to get a shot of that as and when someone wants it. Great, fine. You'll sell it occasionally. But if you think, no, we're going to run a clearance event. clearance special clearance, a summer clearance, and it's going to be on this weekend only, online, offline, and we're going to do this, and we're going to deliberately push it. We're going to brand it up and make it a thing. Suddenly, it just gives it that much more impetus, and it just works, and you'll sell more. So there you go. Look, I hope it's been useful and given all of you lovely viewers and listeners food for thought and helped you on your way to grow your business, because that is the job of the pod. But if you are running a small business and you particularly if you're in the home, garden, or lifestyle, so if it's you're selling a home or garden products or services, or it's more of a lifestyle business, if it's relevant for our expertise, we'd love to get you on. We'd love to get you on. We've done so many podcasts now. I've had so many guests on, and we're having just every conversation is great, because I feel like, and I'm getting the feedback now from the guests that they're really feedback going, this has been super amazing. It's really helped us on our way. And what's really good now, because we've been doing this for so long, is people are really starting to actually, because we always say to people, our guests after, we say, just keep in touch and give us a shout and let us know if you implement that stuff. And months later, we're starting now to get, with pretty consistently, I could probably get one a week now, people message you back going, we implemented all that and it worked a treat, and we're now growing, and we've done this, and we run that event, and we did this sale, or we did that, and we did introduce Meta, or we did do that. And it's both small businesses and bigger businesses. It's just, and I love getting that feedback. That's amazing. So cool. That gives me such a buzz. There you go. Hopefully you enjoyed it. From Archie and for myself, we will see. No, we're not. We're
not done, Aaron. We're miles away from done, Aaron.
Done. Oh goodness, I've got to get into this. I get too in my groove.
You do.
We're absolutely not done. And there'll be people watching this going, he's about to wrap this, and he's missed something. You're right. You are right. Darren's going to kill me.
Darren's listening to this, screaming.
He will be fretted. But no, of course we're not done. Instead of being done, it is time for...
Google won't never got you down. Baby problems.
Here it is.
Not in our town.
Paid media problems. Here we go. Yes, this does just sit above my head the whole episode. There you go. Right. Okay. Here we go. So, I can't believe I forgot about it again. Honestly, I'm a nightmare. Right. So paid media problems is a relatively new-ish segment to the pod. We're now asking people. We're putting it out. We've sent a few messages now, asking people to send in their questions. We're inviting you to send in your paid media questions, problems, things you're struggling with, and I'll give my 10 cents worth, essentially. So if you have got something that you just are struggling with, you can't figure something out, you're not sure if it's to do with Google, Meta, send it in, and I will do my very best to answer. And today we've got Olivia from a bedding brand, luxury. There you go. Hi Evergreen team. I've set up a Performance Max campaign. Fine. I've set up a Performance Max campaign. Okay. Should I exclude brand keyword? Brand. Okay. Should you? That's quite good actually. So should you exclude brand terms on a Performance Max campaign? Okay. I feel like most of these I turn around and go, it depends. But I'm going to try and get them straight. So I think there's a few things there. So there'll be lots of businesses that will be using Performance Max, and probably lots will and lots won't include brands. I think for most of our clients, we have a separate brand campaign. So in that scenario, we will exclude brand, yes. Yeah. Because we don't want Performance Max. We want Performance Max to go after new customers, not people that already know us and are searching for us by brand, right? And that is true for most of our clients, because Performance Max is obviously a campaign type for Google. It is conversion hungry. So if you allow it to include and go after brand terms, it will, and it will then often focus on those brand keywords because they will be the highest converting, probably the easiest to come by, and Google will very quickly learn and go, well, if we go after brands, we get loads of those, and what it then does is it gives you the conversions you would have got anyway, but often at a premium cost because it's part of Performance Max's campaign type. Whereas you could get them if you had them separately as a separate brand campaign, or some businesses don't even bid on brand. We advocate you should bid on brand because for the cost in reality versus the return, it's exponential. Even if you're a small brand. And if you are a really small business, you go, well, no one's searching for my brand anyway. Well, then what have you got to lose? If you're only going to spend 50 quid in it across the month, who cares? So I think in that scenario, so most of our clients, we would say, yes, exclude it because you've got a separate brand campaign. If you don't have a separate brand campaign because you're like, well, look, we're not getting the number of conversions. Therefore, if we start splitting everything out, we're never going to get enough data and the thing's never going to be able to sort of kick into life. Then in that scenario, then we'd leave it in. So it's a little, it kind of depends on what stage of maturity your account is at,
right,
and what level of budget you're spending.
So that performance coming from me, an absolute, don't know it. So in that Performance Max campaign, you'd want it to more grab someone's attention who's never looked at your business before.
Yeah, new people. They're searching for the product or the service, not you as a brand. Because if you allow it to, Performance Max, depending on how it's set up, but we'll go after, it will show your, go after product terms, service terms, whatever it is you're bidding on, and also include brand. But you have the option within Performance Max to say, exclude my brand. You upload a brand list. You say, don't bid on brand, put that to one side, because the assumption being, if someone's searching for the brand, they know you, probably maybe a previous customer. We want those brand clicks, 100%, but we want to get them as cheaply as possible. So put them over there, and we want to say to Performance Max, go after new customers. And if we think this is from a bedding brand, it's a bedding brand, not small business. So if it's a brand, I wonder if, I don't think I know who that might be actually. Anyway, but if it's a brand, therefore fairly established, then what I would do, Liv, is I would make sure that you are excluding brand, put brand separately. In this case, I think I know who this is from. So in that scenario, they are more established. They are going to be spending some budget on ads. So in that scenario, I would be having brand separately and using Performance Max to say, focus on our key products, our key categories, go after those terms and get us to focus on new customers, people that don't know us.
So you're stopping everything jumbling into one big...
You're just splitting out, keeping it nice and as clean as you possibly can.
Keep it a cleaner funnel.
Yeah, exactly that. So you want your brand separately. So there you go. Hopefully that is useful. And if you've got Performance Max and you've been toying with do we, don't we include brand, hopefully that's given you some clarity. And if you've got a question of your own, whether it's any sort of Google, Meta, anything that I can help with, then just fire it in. You can email it to hello@theevergreenagency.co.uk or send me a DM on LinkedIn, and we'll note it down and then we'll add it into one of our upcoming episodes. But there you go. That was Paid Media Problems.
It's amazing.
Right, are we done now?
I think we're done.
Any other features, segments, anything else we've got to add in? I don't think there is.
That's the only other thing I know.
I think in that case, we're done. All that does remain to say is massive thank you to you for watching or listening. Do send me a note. I'm fascinated to know how many of our are watching versus listening. We've seen the numbers, but if you are a regular, genuinely, this is a little call out actually. If you're a regular listener or watcher and you sort of watch most episodes, as I know more and more people are doing, thank you. Ping me a little note. Send me an email, DM, carrier pigeon, whatever. Get in touch and just. Is it YouTube? Is it Spotify? Is it Apple? We're seeing more and more people on Spotify. We're seeing more and more people on YouTube. Apple less so. Is that fair?
Apple less so.
Less so.
Yeah.
But I just love to know, like, if you go, I always watch or I always listen, and it's all I only go on Spotify or I only go on YouTube. Some people are doing both, which is interesting. We're seeing that in terms of. But I'd just be fascinated to know. And if you haven't subscribed on YouTube or followed us on all of the your favorite platform, then make sure you do. It helps more than you know.
And also leave a review.
Oh,
leave a review on Spotify.
Yeah, and if we haven't asked you to do enough,
see some more reviews.
Yeah, we've got leave us a review, any of that kind of stuff. It just helps us. We really appreciate that because we're a little humble little podcast, and we're having some great fun doing it, and we're getting some amazing guests. And just a massive shout out to Sagren for coming on. It's good fun. As ever, had a nice, honest, and open conversation, which is what we love on the Grow with Evergreen podcast. Right, we'll leave it there, and we'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care. Hello, beautiful people. I hope you enjoyed today's Grow with Evergreen podcast. I want to ask you if you would like to be my next guest. We're looking for more home, garden and lifestyle brands to join us. So if you're using paid media such as Google Ads and Meta Ads, if you're willing to be honest and open, and if you're wanting to grow online, then I think you'll find our podcast incredibly helpful for your business. You can apply directly via our website. Simply click on the navigation in the top right-hand side of the website and select podcast. Fill in the application and one of my team will get back to you. Best of all, it's completely free to join us on the Grow with Evergreen podcast. I look forward to helping you grow your business very soon.